My name is JackieGirl Salas and I'll be the presenter for this video. And by the way, this is my course project in IT6209 Introduction to Multimedia. So these are the three questions that we will be answering throughout the video. What is COVID-19? How does COVID-19 affect the world? And how to protect yourself and others from COVID-19. So let's start answering the first one. So what is COVID-19? So COVID-19 is a disease caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2 or SARS-CoV-2. Coronavirus is within the family of viruses that can cause illnesses like a common cold or a common cough. The only difference is this novel coronavirus is highly contagious and primarily attacks the respiratory system of the person that would carry this virus. So, how the virus started? Well, it is believed that COVID-19 started in a market in Wuhan, China, but there's still no hard evidence that um, it is human-made virus or clinically made, and but we can safely say that um, the virus started in Wuhan, China, because the first officially tested positive of COVID-19 is from Wuhan, China, and in February 11, 2020, WHO declared the official name for the virus, which is COVID-19. I prepared a time graph, um, a sequence of happenings of the history of COVID-19, and it is from the News Medical Life Sciences. So you can refer to it um, and read it on their website, News Medical Life Science. So what are the symptoms of COVID-19? So I only included the common symptoms here, but it varies from person to person. So the common symptoms are fever, chills and cough, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, fatigue, and body aches. And in my case, I just experienced um, cough and body ache. The symptoms looks familiar and it doesn't sound alarming, but because of this disease, because of this virus, the world experienced a pandemic. So those years of lockdowns were truly remarkable. It is something that everyone who experienced the pandemic won't forget and will forever change the way we live. So because of this tiny virus, invisible yet it's so powerful and it was able to take millions of lives in a pro way. Because imagine suffering from this illness and being alone with no one able to go near you because you could pass the virus to anyone. So you're just laying there knowing that there's no cure because there's no medicine available at that time. And it's just so heartbreaking because I know this pain firsthand because I too caught COVID in 2021. I experienced that suffering and it felt like I was just waiting for the end. Um, I'm just waiting for my end. And every breath that I take is needs every breath that I will take needs 1,000% more effort. And it's so painful that I don't even want to breathe. And that was lucky. I'm just lucky that I had a friend in China that helped me to access medicine from there, and that helped me a lot. And that experience completely changed my view of life. After surviving, when my test results came back negative, and the doctor said, "Congrats, you are now COVID free." It felt like I'm being released from prison, and I became so appreciative of everything, even queuing for the elevator. Just seeing so many people together was a joy compared to the lockdown day. So my experience was just one story among millions. Because now, um, we will be going, um, we will proceed on the next question. Um, let's look at how COVID-19 affected the world on a much larger scale, which is the second part of my presentation. So I only included a few examples of how the world was affected by the COVID-19. So because COVID-19 is a pandemic, most of the countries implemented locking down the whole country. So there's no transportation. Here in the Philippines, we can't go out without quarantine pass. Um, the the delivery of the food supplies is so strict. So that's what no one is allowed to go go shopping, go to the park. So that's why economics the economy of every country that experienced lockdown is affected, but it is not a whole disadvantage. It has some advantage too because some of the um, communities boomed during pandemic, like the online community. We have the online sellers, even online consultations were utilized during the pandemic. So it is not all bad um, feedbacks, but we also gain something from some learnings from that lockdown. The world also has this fear and disbelief as healthcare system were overwhelmed, hospitals overflowed, doctors and nurses is short-staffed, and they work tirelessly more than maybe even more than 12 hours. So the resources is stretched thin, because the lockdowns become the new normal. So see, cities that never slept before, cities that are so active during during the lockdown, businesses shuttered and it is almost impossible to travel, so economies crumbled. Our supply chain broke down, and millions of businesses, millions of business people lost their livelihood to this pandemic. So in the Philippines, it looks Metro Manila is so busy during the normal season without without the pandemic, but during the pandemic, it looks like a ghost town because no one is allowed to go outside. So the lifeblood of the city um just faded. So I think that's how it affected the world globally, and I just focus more on the on its effect on the Philippines. So let's go on the last question. How to protect yourself and others from COVID-19. So, how to protect? So, the basic practice that I learned during the pandemic is we should wash our hands frequently. So, this simple act became a powerful defense. Just soap and water, and because according to our mentor before, soap and water could break down the virus outer layer. So we do this a lot every time. So the second one is we should wear a mask. So mask become a symbol of protection way back in 2020, 20 and 2021 because this helped to prevent the spread of um, droplets, protecting us both, the one who's wearing the mask and the other, those who are around them. So that's why it became mandatory here in the Philippines. And also, we should not um forget to get vaccination because vaccines provided a strong layer of protections against this COVID-19, and massive vaccinations, what do you call that? Herd. When there is a massive vaccination, we could achieve the herd immunity. That's it. And also, um, we should stay at home, quarantine ourselves if we are feeling sick and we think that we have the virus, so we won't pass it unconsciously to the others. And lastly, we should disinfect the surfaces that um should disinfect the surfaces that we usually touch. So that's how we will stay. That's how we stay safe. So clean frequently touch surface, use detergent soap, use household disinfectant, and get vaccinated. I think I've answered all the three questions. So thank you for listening. Again, my name is Jackie, and have a good day.